So I got both IS300s in here of the silver brand. Both of them warming up. Alright, so there's the automatic non-turbo one. That's that one. And let's give this one a whirl. Touches. You, that guy she told you not to worry about. Just saying. Alright, so I talked to my tuner and he said with the stock pressure regulator and no fuel return on this IS300, I would have to go to a bigger fuel pump because we can't turn the fuel pressure up. It's going to be whatever the stock is. All he can do is demand more fuel from the injectors and get a bigger pump to supply it. I guess that's the idea. I'm kind of spitballing it here. I think that's what's going on, but because the AM340 should be plenty enough. But my new tuner is like asked me all these questions, and when he got to do I have a return line, and I didn't change it. I thought about it, but I ended up not doing it. And so he said that's going to hinder us. You'll have to get a bigger fuel pump. So in my mind, that would be the reasoning behind it. So we can't turn the fuel pressure up. We don't have a regulator. We're stuck with the factory regulator, so we have to get a bigger pump to keep up with demand of the injectors because we can't up the fuel pressure. In my mind, maybe I'm wrong. If somebody's watching and they know exactly, what the issue is, let me know. Or if is it even an issue? But my tuner is, if you're big into the Supra world and all that, Tony, there's a big Tony and little Tony, and Tony's got did have the world record half-mile roll race for a 2JZ in a Toyota Supra. He did have the world record. He had a black one for a while, and he's got a white one. But I think he had the world record like in 2018, 19, something like that. And that's who's going to tune the car. So if I can get him on it, I've had to do a few things to get it ready. So he's kind of waiting on me. As quick as I get this fuel pump changed, though, I'm up to speed. I do have to tighten maybe the downpipe or something. I got to look at that, make sure I don't have an exhaust leak. But besides that, I should be ready to go, I think. So, all right, yeah. So, all right, here we go. So this piece right here, this little black piece on the neck of this, it wouldn't go on this right here at all. So I don't know that I'll ever get it back off, but the diameter of this was way bigger than the diameter of this one. So I went to the bench grinder and I ground down around the two barbs right here. I had to do that to get this to slip over it, because this piece is what locks it into the housing. If you may be able to see inside there, let me find it. Alright, so where my finger's at, inside there, that housing right there, to lock in there you have to have that little black piece on it. Well, this was way too big and it wouldn't lock, but this wouldn't go over it either. So now with this black piece on it, it will actually go. So with that fitting now, this will actually, which I'm not completely done with every part of it, so fish that up through there to get that to pull in. But if you can see right there, that will now lock in there. If you can see, I don't know if you can see that, but that locks in now. Well, also I did have to, below my clips right here where this piece actually clips on, this thing starts to take a bell shape versus the regular ones are just slender. They don't have that bell shape. You may not have to do this as far as what I did, but I did that to get that to go all the way up in there. So that how that starts bell shaping, it didn't want to push all the way up in there. So below my clip where that locks on, I cut all the way around to allow that to seat. We may not be able to run the bottom piece, I don't know just yet. We may just put a filter on it and have a open bucket, it's called. If that's what we got to do, it's what we got to do. But now I have to figure out the wiring to make this thing where I can get all that together. I may have to do some soldering. But alright, here we go. Okay, once you get it in there, get your filter on. Putting your bottom is not an option anymore once you get this, because the bell diameter of this, it's just not an option. That's not gonna happen. So yeah, it will now be open bucket. That's what you got. That's the way you'll have to run this one. It is what it is. You will still be able to have the features of your float to check your level and stuff, but not the bottom. So, alright, here we go. Alright, so I got the fuel pump in. I went ahead and cranked the car. Everything's good. Got a new Harbor Freight battery charger. Viking, I guess it's called. So, letting that charge a little bit. I think that gauge inside that car comes on a regular basis, like it goes off and on like all the time. So, may have to unplug that deal. I think I'm gonna have to at least unhook the battery while it's sitting until I get the scheduled to dyno. I'm gonna go look at a house in the morning, so I'm gonna early out today. Gonna get this IS300 loaded, get it home, kick back the rest of the evening, get up early in the morning and go look at another rental house to buy. And then, that was weird, the door just closed on the IS300 and I'm by myself. It's not running or anything. kind of odd. Anyway, that was weird. So, I'm waiting on Wiring Specialties called today. They've got my harness. They're extending those 3 plugs. We should be good there. I think they'll have it done today. They may, if they can get it done, get it shipped out. Maybe later this week, first of next week, I should have it to finish that 240. But I'm gonna drag this thing out tonight, the turbo IS300, load it. So tomorrow, if he's not ready to dyno tomorrow, after I look at that house or whatever, I'm gonna pick back up on the 240 and go ahead and start plumbing in the whatever water lines I can without getting in my own way. I don't want to get my own way of trying to, you know, make everything work. I've got to set the battery box up. I still hadn't done that. I got to hook the fuel lines up and then get ready to start doing the coolant lines. But with not having the harness, I'm afraid I'm just going to end up moving stuff and setting stuff up. I do have a thermostat and some plug wires. I'm actually going to change the plug wires on the automatic one. That thing, last night I was jumping the other IS300, the turbo went off. I had them both out there last night, and so I had the hood up and you could see the fire arcing off the plug wires onto the valve covers. So I'm going to go ahead and change the plug wires in this one, thermostat, and the one sitting in the S14. I'll do that stuff tomorrow. I still have to cut that fan switch and put the new one on. I've got to find where I've laid it in this mess. Try to get that done. And hopefully we can get scheduled for the dyno to get this one off and running and tuned and ready to do its thing. So maybe, we'll see. It runs a lot better. It idles a lot better since it's sat, and I guess maybe where it's got cold, but it idles 1,000 times better since it got cold. So that tune's just way off. We didn't have enough time to get that tune decent, I think, and that's probably why the engine blew too. I would imagine so. But yeah, so I've not ran it but very little. I've changed the oil a couple times, and I'm not going to run it much, just enough to get it onto the roll back and be done with it there. So yeah, that's where I'm at. All right, hey guys, like, subscribe. You know the routine. Share, hit the little bell, that way you know we've posted another video.
I'm feeling high. I'm feeling